Hello, Sariah, Bastian here, founder and creator of Back Pocket Yoga and my course Beyond Breath that helps women who have suffered the heartache of infidelity in their marriage to regain ownership of their body and learn how to trust themselves and find that true control so that they can move forward in their marriage and have the marriage, that ideal life and marriage that they dream of. And today I have with me one of my current students. Her name's Amy. Amy, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to hear this testimonial from you. Will you tell us, to begin, Amy, what was the main problem you were experiencing before you enrolled inside of Beyond Breath?
Wow, that's a fully loaded question. But for me, what I was feeling was sadness and remorse and disbelief that this could actually be happening to me in my situation. And fully being aware, that was shocking, and learning and discovering about his infidelity and his ability to lie to me and how it made me feel, and almost lie to my children as well and everybody else in our social circle. I felt less than, I felt inadequate. What was wrong with me? And of course I was doing the things of waking up in the middle of the night, crawling over to his side of the bed, picking up the phone, going in the bathroom, locking the door, even once getting in the car with his phone and driving away so that I could be I spy, even to the point of looking into hiring a private investigator to figure out his whereabouts and questioning, answers that I'm getting intuitive about, like, that doesn't make sense. I tried everything to, make this work, and I wanted to make it work, and I still want to make it work. I thought, well, I can be like that other woman in a sense, and maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe I'm not athletic enough. Maybe I, am not emotionally connected enough. So for me, I call it spiraling. My mind could drive me crazy. I could lay in that bed for hours and hours and just look at my ceiling fan and go round and round with crazy thoughts and visions, to the point of like giving myself a stomach ache.
And how long had you been dealing with this before you found Beyond Breath? How many years or months had this been going on, the spiraling?
It had been off and on for 3 years.
Okay.
There had been good times and bad times, and then rediscoveries and connection. And so, yeah, approximately 3 years.
Yeah. And what were some of the things that you had done during that 3-year time period to stop the spiraling, to stop the policing, to stop the chaos?
Individual therapy for both of us, couples therapy, podcasts, reading books, listening to things, trying to figure out how I could be a better person so that I wouldn't be betrayed. Diving deeper into my yoga practice. I am a yoga teacher as well. So on my mat is where I find my self-love, and what I teach is what I want people to feel. So nobody knew my backstory, why I was saying certain things to groups, and what I wanted them to feel was actually what I wanted to feel. To be needed, to be loved, to be safe, to know it's okay. And so a little bit of everything, of all modalities. And, I never actually confided in any family or friends either. So it was all internal for me. It took me a really long time to admit to the truth and tell a friend, and then tell another friend, and then tell a family member.
That's a heavy load to bear.
It is. But you always want it to go away, to not to be real, to be fixable.
Totally.
Yeah.
So you've been with Beyond Breath, I think you joined in November 2021, if I remember correctly. So just about 2 months now. What has been the highlight for you since joining Beyond Breath?
Well, for me, making myself do the work, to look online, to do the modules, to listen to your videos, and especially the journaling. The journaling makes it real, from listening to seeing to hearing to putting it down and writing. I slowed down a little bit over the holidays with my attendance, but I'm almost finished. But I think what it has done for me has empowered me to know more of my truth. And I, incorporate some of your verbiage into myself, my life, or when I teach a yoga class, or even have incorporated it with my spouse. If
Mm-hmm.
I can feel safe, I can be close, and truth is truth. And I love your soften, what is it? Earth, body, soften, breathe. That
Mm-hmm.
is a lovely mantra that I use. And
Mm-hmm.
throughout the modules, some of them have resonated more than others, but I will admit in the beginning, I thought, what is this? What am I doing? Those first call or two, I was completely lost, totally afraid to speak up and ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond breath, the group evening calls, it's lovely to hear other people's stories and see what is working or not working for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel empowered
Mm-hmm.
because whatever happens, I know I'm going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, sure, in the beginning, I laid on my bed and cried for hours, and my boys would say, "Get up, mom, stop." And I've always kept going. I've always kept going. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the more that I have shared in my writing, or even asked a few questions in the groups, or talked to close family or sisters, it's been better. It's been better for myself to not hide.
Mm-hmm.
I was
I
hiding
love
for
that.
a long time.
So what would you say that my questions are like back here? Yeah, okay, right. So what would you say that you learned so far in Beyond Breath that has really transformed things for you? That made you feel like no matter what happens, you're gonna be okay.
I think most of all, not being afraid to say things.
Mm,
And whether it be hurtful or a question that I don't really want to know the answers, or saying something about my emotions or how I feel or what I want or what I want to receive, has empowered me to
mm,
know that if I don't speak up, I'm just going to be stepped upon. And
yeah,
whether that's just in this relationship, it's in all relationships, or in how I walk through the day.
totally.
So listening to my body, doing the practice, stopping, pausing, grounding myself, like you say.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like not being afraid to say something, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times I would want to say something. I'd be like, no, Amy, don't say that. You don't really want to
Mm-hmm.
know, or it's going to be hurtful. So I've grown a lot personally for myself, and other people have actually seen that in me, including some close friends and my
Mm-hmm.
spouse, to say, Amy, it's been wonderful to watch your journey. And I've never crawled in the hole and said, the hell with it, this is over, throw up my hands. I do want to do the work.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Mhm.
So, what would you say have been your results thus far in your participation in Beyond Breath?
I think the results have been somewhat of making me more accountable for me,
Mm,
um, listening to my body, knowing what to say or do or not to say or do, standing taller each day with a little more confidence, taking the moment to realize, Amy, you need to breathe, you need to stop, you need
mhm,
to not react or respond in the moment. I think it's a gift that everybody can take away. And I guess just feeling okay, because it really
mhm,
is 1 minute at a time sometimes. It's not even one day at a time.
mhm,
1 minute at a time that's going to get you through whatever it might be, whether it
mhm.
is with your relationship or a family member or just somebody at the store,
Mhm.
and
Right. Mhm.
pausing and just stopping and checking in with myself and
Yeah.
doing the breathing and the yoga.
Uh-huh.
And I do enjoy the journaling, and this program has made me sit back down again and do it, because sometimes we all have an excuse not to
Mm,
dedicate that time. And I think with this program, you have to do the work. You have to. Sometimes I look and I'm like, oh, it's a 20-minute video. Darn. I can sit here for 20 minutes. But afterwards, you realize that that's probably been the best 20 minutes you've given yourself today,
mm, mhm.
and to reflect. And
Yeah.
that writing exercise sometimes just isn't about my relationship problem. It's something else in my life.
Yeah.
So it
So it's
makes
it's
you dive deep.
totally right. It
Mhm.
uncovers everything, and it's not, and I'll say this from my own experience, but it's not the childhood trauma work that you do with a therapist. It's not the childhood you know, walking back through EMDR or anything like that. Like, it's totally different, right? When you can sit with yourself and your body and literally rewrite the program that you've been living for so long.
And I'm not afraid to tell people that I'm in therapy or, describe this program to them. And I guess one of the other main things that I've learned throughout this is that I cannot fix him.
Mm-hmm.
It is not my job to
Mm-hmm.
police him, to ask him. And I've told him that. I said, I'm not going to pick up your phone. I'm not going to look at it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if you're doing that. That's ridiculous. So I have learned that his journey and his healing is totally up to him. And I have to be able to see and feel that in order for me to want to continue.
Yes.
And I do. And I do see that in my relationship. And I
Yeah.
will share with him some of the things that I learn and do through this program, or, I have taken from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a little secret society that I
Mm-hmm.
have here with this women's group, but I have shared,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I love
and
that.
that connection is important.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Amy, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence about joining Beyond Breath?
Wow. So I'm sure there's a lot of people on the fence. And at first, I think you think, what is this? How is it different from any other program that I might be enrolled in or think about
Mm-hmm.
taking or have taken? Um, I think with anything in life, you have to try. You have to try, and you think about how much maybe money you've already put into therapy, out of network, and what you've already paid in bills for counseling and retreats or whatever it may be. But it all has to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
The you is the important, and then this is a you program. And besides the monetary aspect of it, which at first, honestly, I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. But you know what? I'm worth it. You don't
Mm-hmm.
invest in yourself, you're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you have said, and many people I've learned have been in this program for a while and they've repeated it. And I do intend, I'm almost finished with week 8. I do intend to go back and reuse and relook. And the second time will probably even be more meaningful. And I can probably have better takeaways from it.
Yeah, even more.
Yeah.
So was the financial investment, has it been worth it for
Oh,
you?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Um, and just thinking what you spend on self-care in your life, or maybe get one less manicure or pedicure,
Mm-hmm.
something to eliminate in your life if it's coming down to that choice.
Mm-hmm.
And you even give the payment plans, which is fine.
Yeah.
So it's a lifelong work, and after you pay and you go through, you have so much opportunity to stay. And I
Mm.
love how you added another day for group meetings. That gives
Yeah.
people more choices. And every time I tune in, I'm glad I'm there, but I might be tired, or I blank myself out because I want to eat my bowl of cereal, while we're on the call. So sure, I think we were all on the fence initially thinking, should not do this, but I honestly do not have any regrets,
Mm-hmm.
because I have seen
Mm-hmm.
the benefits for myself, and even in my world around me outside of why I came to this program.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
Mhm.
that. Would you
Mhm.
say that your relationship status, where it is right now, that Beyond Breath had a part in its growth, and its healing growth?
I do, because at this point we are both willing to work on this
Mm-hmm.
relationship. But that relationship can't come without working on yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be both willing to do the work. And I feel okay in my body, and I've learned a lot of things to say that I probably wouldn't say before. And what you call like doing the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes I don't want to ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned to rethink, to pause, to maybe say it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly do think that it has helped my relationship.
Yeah.
So I am super pleased with this, and I hope that people don't hesitate to do it. After you
Mm.
get in there and the first week is over and you start to sit down or come to calls, then you get so much more out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it parlays out into whatever it may be, your kids, your job, your life,
Right.
just
Yeah.
beyond why you came to betrayal trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what healing is from the trauma, is
Mhm.
learning how to live
Right.
and that idea of living beyond breath, right?
Correct. And
That's
not holding it in or
uh-huh,
thinking that you're less than or something's
uh-huh,
wrong with you.
right. I love that.
So it has empowered me in ways that I can't even describe. People have
Mm-hmm.
seen it or observed, and I'm super happy that I did it.
Good,
Absolutely. Yeah.
good.
And
I
I'll
love that.
repeat it. I'll repeat it.
Yes, over and
Yes.
over again. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Amy, thank you so much for
Mhm. Thank
sharing
you.
your
Thank you,
experience
Sariah.
with us. Yes, I love this. And if it calls to you, listeners out there, it's Beyond Birth program we're not a pop-up betrayal trauma recovery. Like, we've been doing this for years. The results are real. And if you want to be one of the next ones with these results, then reach out. Let's get started today. I love you.
Love
Bye-bye.
you. Namaste.